Hello, everyone. After conducting extensive research on the worldwide diaper market, we would advise that Procter & Gamble enter Nigeria to sell diapers. The following presentation will be composed of how we came to this determination, an analysis of Nigeria, and a marketing plan that would be advised for Procter & Gamble. Before Nigeria was chosen, a SWOT analysis was conducted on the country to identify the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats that would be associated with entering the Nigerian market. Firstly, the strengths of Nigeria are that the country possesses a large young population. There is a high replacement rate among women, which is 4.85, which is very high. Another strength is that there's a lot of open space in the country, so that could be set up for manufacturing plants or headquarters. Furthermore, there are low costs associated with the country. Now, when looking at the weaknesses of Nigeria, it's important to understand that there is currently a low quality of life and that poverty is a big problem on the country, which means that people may not be willing to spend their valuable money on diapers. Furthermore, there are poor hygiene and low health standards, so diapers may not be seen as important. Furthermore, there is limited access to electricity, which could be problematic from a manufacturing standpoint, and there is a lack of adequate roads, which could be problematic for transport. Next, when looking at the opportunities that would be created by entering the Nigerian market, the Niger and Benue rivers would be excellent methods of transportation and could even allow Procter & Gamble to expand into surrounding countries. Furthermore, there is cheap, ready-to-use land throughout the country. And lastly, there are good ports in Nigeria that would allow for international shipping. Lastly, it's critical to understand the threats that would be associated with entering the Nigerian market. Firstly, there's already competition in the country, meaning that Procter & Gamble wouldn't have a great understanding of the market when starting off, and competitors would, giving them an instant advantage. In addition, Nigeria has a low economic freedom score, and that is due to corruption problems and the lack of property rights. While Nigeria was chosen as the market to enter, there were other potential candidates. For example, Belgium was taken a look at, but they suffer from an aging population, which would make them less of an attractive option, and the focus would have to be shifted toward the elderly. Egypt was another option. They were a better candidate due to the fact that they have a younger population, but problems with inflation and the fact that it's hard to do business there proved to be too problematic. Spain was also looked at, but like Belgium, they suffer from an aging population. And lastly, Sweden was looked at as well, but they also suffer from an aging population. After looking at the four countries, none proved to be a stronger market to enter than Nigeria.
Why Nigeria? There are several reasons why Nigeria is the best option for a diaper company. Starting with demographics, Nigeria has a huge population of 203 million. This ranks them at 7 in the world and is great for business because it means a high ceiling for potential customers. Additionally, Nigeria's replacement rate is 4.85 children per mother. This means there will be plenty of kids in need of diapers. Lastly, the quality of life score is very low for Nigeria, 58.35 out of 240, which gives Procter & Gamble an opportunity to improve the hygiene of Nigeria. Moving on to why Nigeria is great geographically, although Nigeria is a very populated country, in terms of land size it's not very big. At about 923,768 square kilometers, Nigeria is slightly more than twice the size of California, making it a very dense country. This is good for business because it means the country is very centralized and Procter & Gamble wouldn't have to open too many locations to reach the majority of their target market. In general, the country doesn't have very many mountain ranges or long periods of desert, which makes transporting products very simple and easy. The large amount of flatlands opens the door for Procter & Gamble to build real estate and settle down near populated areas of the country. In addition, Nigeria is blessed with large rivers that provide transportation, water, and drainage for the country. The Niger and Benue rivers can be very useful for Procter & Gamble in terms of transporting materials for the country. Lastly, Nigeria is perfectly located for shipping overseas and takes advantage of it. Nigeria has a total of 6 ports, more than almost any other African country. Located on the western coast of Africa, Nigeria is adjacency to the Atlantic Ocean makes it easy to coordinate exports and imports to and from other countries around the world. As for economic factors, falling in at a high ranking of 31 out of 196, Nigeria's total GDP is listed as 375.8 billion. This is a great number and means businesses are usually successful in this country. In addition, Nigeria participates in a large amount of foreign trade. According to Global Edge, 26.35% of its GDP comes from exports and imports. Nigeria has a very high Gini coefficient of 43 out of 100, meaning they have a very high distribution of wealth. This will affect how we price the diapers. Lastly, Nigeria has a high savings rate of 15.5% of their income. This is important because it gives Procter & Gamble an opportunity to tap into this stagnant money. Politically, Nigeria isn't very stable. They are cursed with ongoing ethnic and religious tension, which contributes to their high corruption rate. In addition, Nigeria relies very heavily on oil revenues to stabilize the economy, giving Procter & Gamble yet another reason to make strategic business decisions and have a game plan on what to do if Nigeria's political tensions begin to rise. Lastly, infrastructure in Nigeria is of pretty low quality. However, there are several enacted projects that will be more durable and benefit businesses in general. For example, development of Truck Transit Park Obolo 4 is meant to be a parking service where truck drivers can get fuel, food, restrooms, showers, and basic supplies like oil and spare parts, as well as servicing and repairs of haulage vehicles. As you can see, Nigeria will be the best stage to sell diapers and is proven through its great demographic, geographic, economic, and infrastructure factors.
We will now talk about the cardinal, primary, and secondary value of the Nigerian culture. The cardinal value in the Nigerian culture is foreign trade. Nigerians admire Western economic and social development, which explains their willingness to participate in foreign trade. This is extremely beneficial because it means that we will be entering a country that is willing to accept foreign products that they may not be familiar with. The fact that Nigerians value foreign trade will also make it easier to introduce this product in areas that haven't used or seen a product like this before. In addition to this, their admiration of Western culture can also give us a distinct advantage over foreign competition. The primary value in the Nigerian culture can be described as balancing tradition and change. We believe this primary value can also work in favor of our product because traditionally, the people of Nigeria have a lot of children. In Nigeria, the replacement rate is 4.85 children born per woman. This exemplifies how there will be many consumers available for us to market our product to. Because Nigerians also emphasize change in this value, we believe they will accept the change from reusable diapers, or no diapers at all, to using disposable diapers to promote a healthy and cleaner young life for their children. In addition to this primary value can help us position our product. The secondary value of the Nigerian culture is seniority rules. This posed a challenge for our marketing plan because we were going to market disposable diapers for children and not adults. But we believe we can work with this value because of the vast majority of the population under the age of 25. About 62.26% of the population is under the age of 25, and a large part of that percentage are around the age of using disposable diapers. We'll be marketing our product to the mothers and women of the households who make the purchase decisions for their families. We will now talk about our analysis of Hall's 10 PMSs in relation to Nigeria. The association aspect of our analysis shows that Nigeria has a high power distance rating. This means that there is a large cultural gap between common people and people of authority. Nigeria also has high respect for their elders and mostly distinct gender roles. We can use these gender roles and power distance to our advantage when introducing our product. We will market our product to women who are primarily involved in taking care of their children. With a high power distance culture, once it is adopted by authority figures, our product will trickle down the society and be used by most women with children. For the procreation aspect of our analysis, the main takeaway is the amount of children that people have in Nigeria. The replacement rate is 4.85 per woman, and Nigeria is ranked 8 in the world in population. With such a high replacement rate in population, a large portion of it are children that are at the age of wearing diapers. This makes Nigeria a great place to introduce our product. The space aspect of our analysis can also be used to our advantage in our marketing plan. There are 41,726 households in Nigeria with an average of 5 members per household. Because of the lack of space in these households, we can market our diapers as a healthier and cleaner solution to the problem. We can show consumers the ease of disposal and cleanup to convince them to adopt disposable diapers.
Now we'll take a look at the Hofstede values for Nigeria. Nigeria has a score of 80 for power distance, indicating that the culture is hierarchical in nature. With such a high power distance ranking, there is certainly a well or loosely defined social hierarchy that is accepted. The primary child care value will most likely be the mother, who will be affected by the diapers the most. A high-powered distance culture will rapidly integrate a product into their society after an authority figure adopts it. Nigeria scored 30 for individualism, so it is a more collectivistic culture. A collectivistic culture will often prioritize their children over themselves and search for the best available opportunities and options for them. Individuals will define themselves based on the role they play within their family and community. One approach to market in a collectivistic culture is the loss frame approach, which could be used to emphasize the negative consequences that alternatives to disposable diapers might pose on the family. Nigeria has a score of 60 for masculinity. Masculine cultures are driven by a desire to compete and succeed. This mirrors what we've seen from Nigeria's history with different tribes competing for resources. However, since it is not particularly strong either way, it will not be much considered. Nigeria scored 55 for uncertainty avoidance, a score that offers little insight and will not be strongly considered. A score of 13 for long-term orientation is an extreme. This indicates Nigerians collectively place a greater emphasis on the present and do little planning for the future. The ability of the diapers to provide immediate relief to what could be an ordeal, washing and reusing diapers, will likely appeal to Nigerian consumers. Another extreme is Nigeria's score for indulgence, a score of 85. Nigerians clearly value their leisure time, and products that improve their lives, such as disposable diapers, provide the simplest and most convenient solution to raising children and reducing the burden. Now we'll examine how Nigerian values, norms, and attitudes affect their consumer behavior. Nigerians value traditions within their community and family, and these factors play a large role in deciding what products they will buy. A GeoPoll survey of Nigerians found that friends, family, and ethnic group they identified with accounted for 51% of respondents' largest influences on their product preference. This value and trend aligns closely with the collectivistic nature of Nigeria, indicating that once we have penetrated the market, it will rapidly diffuse across the culture. Nigerians value seniority, and in a collectivistic culture, the mother is typically seen as the head of the household, and if not directly purchasing diapers, will have an influence on the purchasing habit of the men on what household products they might buy. One of the fundamental norms is that men are considered more powerful and the ones expected to provide for their families, while the mothers tend to them. There is a divide in the amount of participation women play in making even minor household purchases across Nigeria. However, as a collectivistic culture, there is still a norm of mutual care between immediate and extended family. For selling our product, this means that while it might be the mother's responsibility for caring for children, she may receive assistance and input from extended family or community. There is an additional North and South Nigerian divide in consumer behavior based off the predominantly Islamic North and the less religious South. Groups that are more focused on religion have different purchasing habits and tend to consume less than their less religious counterparts. Finally, Nigerian consumer values typically take a very positive attitude toward foreign products. Nigeria is a developing economy and does not have large domestic investment, so foreign products are perceived to be of better quality. Nigerians are exceptionally loyal to brands that they develop an attachment to. For the wealthier Nigerians, this occurs based off how they perceive the quality of a product, whereas for the lower income Nigerians, their brand loyalty can be owed to the unwillingness to try new products when they've already identified one that fits their needs. This suggests their diapers should appear foreign to meet high-quality standards, but also serve the function at the best value to attract all income levels.
Domestic competitors in Nigeria. The main domestic competitor in Nigeria is us, Procter & Gamble. The brand we sell in Nigeria is Pampers. Procter & Gamble used to hold a majority of the market share until they were recently overpassed by Hayat Kimya with Molfix. So, in order to combat this, Procter & Gamble added Pampers Baby Dry and Pampers Premium to their product line. By doing this, they attempted to tap into wealthier consumers that foreign competitors were not. The other main domestic competitor is Kimberly-Clark with Huggies. However, Huggies does not aim to control the market. However, it focuses on the feel and safeties that Huggies brings. To them, Huggies sells self-esteem. They are also targeting the upper middle class business professional moms, which is still a different target than what the foreign competitors are going for. The foreign competitors in Nigeria position themselves a lot different than the domestic ones. The main foreign competitor in Nigeria is Hayat Kimya with their product Molfix. Hayat Kimya is a Turkish-based company and now is in control of a majority of the market share of diapers in Nigeria. Molfix is positioned to be an easily accessible product, and it has a low price regimen in order to target lower middle class mothers. This is a different target than a lot of the domestic competitors in Nigeria. The other main foreign competitor is Wemi Industries with their product Dr. Brown's. Wemi Industries was actually the first diaper manufacturer in Nigeria. They are the only major regional manufacturer of adult diapers, which is why they still have a prominent place in the market share. But in addition to this, there are also a lot of cheap imports that come. Most of these cheap imports come from China, but these are still seen as unreliable by most consumers. So now we're going to start with our marketing plan. As far as product decisions, we decided we're going to enter the market with two different types of diapers, a luxury diaper and a more affordable diaper. We're doing this because Nigeria has an extremely high power distance, so the more wealthy consumers are more likely to buy a better, more luxurious diaper in order to signify their status and separate themselves from the less wealthy consumers. These diapers are going to be a little bit more expensive, better quality, sold in better stores, and have better attributes such as super absorbent or super comfy. These will still be targeted toward women since they are going to be the ones purchasing these for the families, and they will come in different sizes. Now, we're going to sell these diapers as a necessity and position them to be essential for good hygiene and cleanliness at an affordable cost. As far as images go, we're definitely going to have a woman nurturing the baby on a cover because high-power distant societies tend to ascribe to roles, and if women see mothers acting motherly and babies acting like babies, they're going to want to ascribe to these roles and buy these diapers. Now, as far as packaging goes, we're going to have different packaging for the lower quality. We're going to sell that in bulk and have that be cheap and maybe that not be quite as extravagant. But for the luxurious version, we're going to make sure that our consumers know that this is a better, higher quality product. So we may even have a statement on the packaging that says higher quality.
Upon entering the country, pricing your products is one of the most important decisions. For Nigeria, two different pricing strategies would be the most efficient: an affordable line of diapers for the less wealthy areas and a luxury brand of diapers for the wealthier areas of the country. The luxury line will be longer lasting, more absorbent, and more stylish, and the advertisements will reflect so. This strategy would work the best because Nigeria has a very high Gini coefficient, meaning they're very separated in the distribution of wealth. Nigeria is also a very collectivist society, meaning discounts, sales, and coupons wouldn't benefit the sale of diapers very much. Nigeria is a very short-term oriented country, so diapers should be sold in smaller quantities than what already exists in the country. As you can see on the slide, diapers will be sold in three different quantities: a 20-pack to last for about a week, a 90-pack to last about a month, and a 270-pack to last about 3 months. Prices for these quantities are listed next to the corresponding size.
In terms of placement decisions, it's important to know whether we're talking about our higher-end diapers or our lower-quality diapers. Either way, we're definitely going to be doing some e-commerce, and it seems like most Nigerian diaper sales are sold on Jumia.com. However, since Nigeria is a lesser developed country, they still have not gotten the hang of e-commerce and is still not as popular as brick-and-mortar stores, especially since a lot of Nigerians do not have access to the internet. So, for lower quality diapers, there will be little discrimination in store choice. We will sell them in more stores, and we will sell them in stores where middle to lower class families are found. It is the opposite for our high-quality diapers. Our high-quality diapers will be found at more limited, higher-end stores to keep its high-end image. In terms of our distribution, we're going to produce in China since labor is very cheap, and then we are going to ship to Nigeria because it has extremely good ports. Once the product arrives to the ports, we will ship via the rivers.
The following component of the marketing plan entails promotional decisions, and within that, advertising plays a critical role. Firstly, Procter & Gamble would be successful by hanging banners, sponsoring, or even having ads at sporting events. For example, when the Nigerian national soccer team plays, that is an excellent opportunity to reach a large audience. In addition, advertisements on billboards, on TV ads are advised. However, it would not be advised to have a huge social media presence, and that is due to the fact that many people in the country do not have adequate access to the internet. Now, the important part of our advertisements would be to market to young mothers, and that is because they are our main target. So the ads should depict mothers caring for their kids and also for their hygiene. Lastly, ads could be beneficial by demonstrating donations to organizations, and that should impress mothers in the country.